I have always been proud of my car. It's not a luxury vehicle, but it's clean, well-maintained, and I take good care of it. But lately, the paint had lost its luster. The clear coat was still intact, but there was a dullness that no amount of washing could fix. I tried quick detailers, spray waxes, and even a few ceramic sprays that claimed to work miracles. Each time the shine lasted a week at most, and the paint still looked flat. I started to wonder, what did people do before all these fancy aerosols and polymer coatings? The answer I discovered was carnauba wax. It's a natural wax harvested from the leaves of the carnauba palm native to Brazil. For centuries, it has been the gold standard for automotive protection. It's known for its extreme hardness, high melting point, and incredible gloss. But it's not easy to apply. It requires patience, technique, and a little bit of elbow grease. I had heard about a traditional waxing trick used by old-school detailers, a method that involved applying a paste wax with a foam applicator, letting it haze, and then buffing it off with a microfiber cloth. It sounded simple, but I had always used spray-on waxes that took less than 5 minutes. Why would anyone spend an hour waxing a car manually? But I had a weekend and a curious mind. So I decided to test this traditional wax trick against a modern spray wax and find out if the extra effort was worth it. The total cost of the traditional wax was about $20. A professional ceramic coating would cost me $200. A high-end spray wax would set me back $60, but the traditional paste wax was just $20. I wanted to know, could this old-school method give me a mirror shine that rivals expensive coatings, all for a fraction of the price? I bought a tin of paste wax, a foam applicator, a pack of microfiber towels, and a small spray bottle of quick detailer. I also bought a can of spray wax for comparison. I washed my car thoroughly, dried it, and parked it in a shaded area. I split the hood into 2 halves. The left side would get the traditional paste wax, the right side would get the spray wax. I applied the paste wax in small, circular motions with the foam pad, working it into the paint. The process was slow and methodical. It took me about 20 minutes to cover the left half of the hood. I let it haze for another 10 minutes, then I buffed it off with a clean microfiber. The result was immediate and dramatic. The left side had a deep, wet, mirror-like shine that reflected the sky with perfect clarity. The right side, sprayed with the quick wax, looked good, but it was a thin, flat shine. It didn't have the same depth. I repeated the test on the fenders and doors, and the paste wax consistently outshone the spray wax. The shine lasted longer too. After a week, the spray wax had faded, but the paste wax still had a strong glow. After a month, the paste wax was still protecting the paint, while the spray wax had worn off completely. The traditional wax trick wasn't just a trick. It was a time-honored technique that genuinely delivered superior results. I saved money, I learned a skill, and I gained a new appreciation for the art of car detailing. This is not a sponsored video. I bought every product with my own money, and honestly, I wish I had learned this years ago. Let me give you some context about the difference between modern spray waxes and traditional paste waxes. Spray waxes are convenience products. They contain polymers that quickly bond to the paint and leave a thin layer of protection. They are easy to apply, but they don't last long. Traditional paste waxes, on the other hand, contain carnauba wax, a natural wax derived from the leaves of the carnauba palm. Carnauba is known for its hardness and high gloss. When applied correctly, it creates a deep, warm shine that can last for months. The trick is in the application. The wax needs to be spread thin, allowed to haze, and then buffed to a high shine. The process is labor-intensive, but the result is worth it. I wanted to test the shine and durability of both products side by side. I also wanted to see if the traditional method could compete with a professional ceramic coating that costs 10 times as much. So I set up a controlled test. I divided my car into 4 sections: hood, fenders, doors, and trunk. I applied the paste wax to 2 sections and the spray wax to the other 2. I also invited a friend who had a ceramic coating on his car. We parked both cars side by side and compared the reflections under the same light. The paste wax had a warmer, richer gloss that actually looked more appealing than the ceramic coating. The ceramic coating was technically more durable, but the visual difference was subtle. I was stunned. Now, let me give you the final numbers. A tin of paste wax costs about $20. A spray wax costs about $60 for a comparable brand. A professional ceramic coating costs over $200. I used the paste wax on my car, and it lasted for 3 months, which meant I saved about $40 compared to buying spray wax over the same period, and the shine was noticeably better. But there are limitations. The paste wax takes time, about an hour to apply and buff. Spray wax takes 5 minutes. Also, paste wax can be difficult to remove if you apply it too thickly. And if you use it on a hot day, it can bake into the paint and become a nightmare to remove. The best time to wax is early morning or late evening when the paint is cool. The traditional wax trick is not a miracle cure, it's a skill. But for anyone who loves their car and wants a beautiful, long-lasting shine, it's absolutely worth the effort. However, I did not stop there. I wanted to see if I could improve the result even further by adding a few extra steps that professional detailers use. The first step I added was a clay bar treatment. A clay bar is a special resin compound that removes embedded contaminants like tar, tree sap, and industrial fallout that regular washing cannot remove. I bought a clay bar kit for about $15. After washing the car, I sprayed a clay lubricant on the left half of the hood and gently glided the clay bar across the surface. It felt like rubbing sandpaper over smooth glass. It was picking up tiny particles that I couldn't see. After the clay bar, the paint felt incredibly smooth, like glass. I then applied the paste wax on that half, and the shine was even more intense. The reflection was so crisp that I could count the blades of grass in the reflection from 10 feet away. The other half, which I had only waxed without claying, still looked good, but it had a slightly orange peel texture that I hadn't noticed before. I realized that the clay bar was essential for a true mirror shine. I also tested a second trick using a second coat of wax after the first coat had cured for 24 hours. The extra coat added a layer of depth that made the paint look three-dimensional. It was like looking into a pool of liquid glass. I timed the entire process, claying, 2 coats of wax, and final buffing. The whole job took me about 3 hours, but the results were breathtaking. I took the car out in the evening light, and the paint glowed with an almost supernatural brilliance. I had never seen my car look like that before. Even my neighbor, who is not a car enthusiast, stopped and said, "Wow, did you just get a new paint job?" But I had to be honest about the downsides. The clay bar made the paint incredibly smooth, but it also made it more sensitive. If I dropped the clay bar on the ground, it would pick up grit and scratch the paint. I had to be very careful. Also, the second coat of wax took time, and I had to wait 24 hours between coats, which meant I couldn't do it all in one day. And the wax itself was difficult to remove from plastic trim. I accidentally got some on the black plastic pieces around the windows, and it left a white residue that was almost impossible to clean. I had to use a special trim cleaner to get it off. So the trick works wonderfully on paint, but you have to be meticulous. Despite the extra effort, I was thrilled with the result. I decided to test the durability of this wax job against my friend's ceramic coating. We left both cars parked outside in the sun for 2 weeks, and then we measured the water beading and the gloss levels. The ceramic coating still had perfect water beading, while the paste wax had started to lose some of its beading. But the paste wax still had more gloss, the shine was still deeper. The ceramic coating had more protection, but the paste wax had more beauty. I realized that the choice between the two comes down to what you value more, maximum durability or maximum shine. For me, I preferred the deep, warm glow of the traditional wax. I also tested the wax on my wife's car, which is a lighter color. The difference was less dramatic, but still noticeable. The wax deepened the color and gave it a richer tone. I also tried the wax on the wheels and chrome trim, but it was difficult to apply in the tight spaces. I had to use a smaller applicator and work slowly. It took twice as long, but the results were just as impressive. Now, let me give you the comprehensive cost and time breakdown. I used the traditional paste wax on both of my cars, and over the course of a year, I applied it about 4 times. Each application required about 2 to 3 hours of work. The paste wax tin cost $20 and lasted for about 6 applications. The clay bar kit cost $15 and lasted for a year. The microfiber towels were about $15 for a pack of 12. The foam applicators were $5 for a pack of 6. So the total upfront cost was about $55. But that cost was spread over a year and multiple applications. So the cost per wax job was less than $10. If I had used spray wax for the same number of applications, I would have spent about $60 per year on the spray wax alone. So I saved about $50 a year, and in the first year, I saved about $40 compared to the spray wax costs. On top of that, I saved over $150 compared to a professional ceramic coating. The value is undeniable. But the biggest gain was not financial. It was the satisfaction of doing the work myself. There is a certain pride in knowing that the shine on your car is the result of your own hands. You learn the nuances of the paint, how it reacts to the wax, how the temperature affects the curing, how much pressure to apply. It becomes a ritual, a way to connect with your car. I also learned that the traditional wax trick is not just a technique, it's a philosophy. It teaches patience, attention to detail, and respect for the craft. The spray wax is the fast food of car care, quick, easy, and forgettable. The paste wax is a slow-cooked meal. It takes time, but the reward is far greater. So, does this traditional wax trick actually work? Yes, it works brilliantly. It produces a deep, rich, mirror-like shine that is difficult to match with any other product. Is it as durable as a ceramic coating? No, but it's not supposed to be. It's about the aesthetic, not just the protection. Should you use it? If you are someone who loves your car and enjoys the process of caring for it, absolutely. If you just want the fastest solution, stick with the spray wax. But if you want that wow factor and you don't mind spending a few hours on a weekend, this traditional method is unmatched. The most important thing I learned is that sometimes the old ways are old for a reason. They work. And they work because they are based on science, not on marketing. Carnauba wax is the first tight person of the character, is a proven material. The technique is not complex, and when you combine them, the result is nothing short of spectacular. If you enjoyed this experiment and you want to see more real tests like this, you need to commit to this channel right now. Subscribe to Overlooked and hit that notification bell, because I test the hacks that nobody else dares to try, and I show you the truth, whether it works or fails. Trust me, you will not want to miss the next experiment. If you have ever used a traditional paste wax, or if you have any other detailing tips, let me know in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your experiences, good or bad. Thanks for watching. And remember, Sometimes the best shine isn't from a spray can. It's from a little bit of patience and a little bit of elbow grease. You just have to be willing to try. See you in the next one.